everyone. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. It's supposed to be a beautiful day. We're nearing the end of the semester, and we are really just powering through. I am loving reading your assignments. You guys, just you're incredible. The things that you're balancing, the multiple responsibilities that you are navigating, and your ability to keep up your work with such high quality. Truly, I value it and I'm impressed and just want to say we are so close to being in the home stretch. So, um, the last video worked out well. Students seemed to like that I provided a quick commentary on the case analysis. So, I just wanted to follow up to give another kind of quick summary about the Alex Sanders case study. So, one thing that I want to just fully disclose to you all is that this case study, I actually remember it from when I was an MBA student decades ago, it feels like now, but quite a long time ago. And I think the power of this case study is that it's still relevant, regardless of how long ago it was written. It still impacts our perceptions of the workplace today, particularly for women leaders. So, one thing that was mentioned, kind of a topic of discussion in the case analysis, was about the glass ceiling and does it still exist? And some of you said, I think so, and some said, I'm not so sure. But really, the state of the research says, yeah, glass ceiling is still a thing. But now they've kind of changed the conceptualization a little bit to say women can get to the top, and we know they can. So there's no longer a barrier to them being able to break through at all. But what we're really seeing along the way is this idea of a broken rung system. So if you think about the ladder to success, some of the rungs in the middle for women are missing or broken. Really, what this comes back to is the pipeline for women leadership. So women, especially at the beginning of their careers, tend to be promoted less. So we see greater percentages of men moving up the ladder more quickly. And so by the time they get to the top, when women do get to the top, they are eventually able to break through the ceiling. And we see some women obtaining higher level management, CEO positions. But there's just fewer of them at the very top of the ladder to break through. So we can consider that in our mentoring, in our selection, in our promotion, in our development of our women leaders. How do we get them from the bottom of the ladder to the top of the ladder? And are we disproportionately perhaps allowing some individuals to climb that ladder? So this was all based on a report by McKinsey Consulting. I'm going to go ahead and send that out to you as well because I think it's just really interesting. And some of you, had this kind of inclination that things are not yet equal, but we think they're getting better, and they are getting better, but we still have improvements to be made. And you all are in HR. You have the opportunity to help make things better. And I just think that is what's so incredible about the careers you're in and about what you're learning is that you can take this information and actually make a difference for people in their lives, in their careers. What a powerful tool. So I'm going to send that out to you. I also think wasn't really brought up as much, but we can tie this back to what we learned about how we measure performance. And this really underlies so many of the conversations is, are we focusing on results or are we focusing on behaviors? And even in a results focused organization, it's still important to assess these behaviors because here we're seeing someone who's trying to achieve success, but at what cost, right? What of those negative behaviors are really harming people? So in Alex's case, if we were using a full perspective, if we're using the full dimension of performance, we would also be assessing task performance. Great, seems like Alex is doing well. Adaptive performance seems pretty good under pressure, but CWBs, thinking about that citizenship behavior, that contextual performance, not really a good citizen. OCBs, ways in which maybe we're treating other people, being rude, just being uncivil, right? Not being kind. Those are behaviors that matter too. They matter in building the workplace culture. They matter in building trust. And so when we're creating our reviews, even if we really care about results, we need to consider what is it that we're assessing and how much do these citizenship behaviors, how much do counterproductive behaviors matter? And I would argue they matter a lot. They matter a lot for creating a culture of shared trust, for team growth. I mean, here you have followers who are afraid of Alex. They don't want to go to her. They don't see her as a leader. That could lead to a lot of turnover among your individual contributor employees, and it really just creates this culture that's not accepting and not really a team. And so here I think we have an opportunity to use performance management by assessing both results and behaviors. If we use both of those things to create a performance evaluation, and we tie specific results and outcomes and compensation to that performance review, that can help be kind of this building a bridge for someone to see how their individual behavior has an impact. Um, and in Alex's case, they're particularly motivated. She's very much focused on achievement and wanting to be successful and wanting to move up. And I think a really good, clear, open conversation from a coaching standpoint of here's the behaviors you're engaging in, and here's how they're going to impede you from getting to the next level. So, results are not the only thing that matter. As you move up through an organization, as you move up in responsibility, you're going to have to figure out a way to coach and lead. That's part of the job, not just getting results, but coaching and leading is part of the job for your next career step. And so, if you're unable to display those behaviors now, then you're likely going to be unable to exhibit them when you get up to the next level, and it's going to keep you from being selected. So in this case, you have an employee who's very much um, you have an employee who's very much tied in wanting to succeed and wanting to grow. And so I think that's a good way to say, here's the behavior, here's the obstacle, here's how you can overcome it going forward, to motivate them, rather than saying, here's what other people think about you. It's very clear that Alex does not care that much about what other people think about her. And then lastly, I just think as an organizational culture, we kind of touched on this a little bit in the last case study, but we need to ask ourselves, okay, results, but results at what cost? And so we're not just building employees who can perform, but we are building a culture. We are building an organizational environment that we want to be supportive, and that we want to be an organization where we can help people grow, and that it's safe to develop and grow. And so if you have a good performer, right, a results focused performer, is that enough? Is that okay? Does it excuse the other behaviors? And I would likely argue no, it doesn't excuse the behaviors, because she may be a star, but chances are there's going to be another star in the pipeline as well that we could find down the line. Um, but at the at the risk of hurting all these other employees, of impeding their growth, of harming the culture, I don't think we should allow bullies to be bullies. And we can use our coaching and our guidance to help curb some of those behaviors. So just a little bit of feedback on my thoughts as I was reading your assignments. I think you all did a really excellent job. I loved hearing your insights. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, you can reach out to me anytime. So have a wonderful weekend and take care.